Why don't you fucking think for yourself and shit? It's not that hard to be a free thinker. So, you know, I came across this meme this week because I do keep up with our culture war, our situation where we are approaching alarming levels of civil unrest. And what prompted me to talk about this today is I guess somebody drove their car and ran over an Antifa protester or something and crashed into like the DNC building and then got away. Apparently they didn't catch the guy. I haven't kept up with the story. That's about as much of that I wanted to hear about today, and it was filtered through another YouTuber whom I go to because they pull and read articles, and they do pretty much what I do in the political sphere. They're reading articles, they're giving their opinions on them, that kind of stuff. And here's the thing, I'm a gamer at heart, so this meme kind of resonates with me. Of course, certain people have taken this meme to extremes, but when you think about it, you're being programmed all the time. The media is programming you. Social media is programming you. They've admitted it openly. And there are a lot of people out there who do not think for themselves. When you talk to them, they give you a regurgitated, planted by the media response when they give you their opinion. Their opinion is not based in reality or personal experience oftentimes. They've been programmed from cradle to the grave. Our institutions are definitely programming us. Hollywood's attempting to program us. That's why I don't watch as many movies. They're doing everything they can to manipulate your opinions, to manipulate how you feel, what you're angry about, what is right and wrong for you. And I've been highlighting the media's biases as part of my health journey, and it's bleeding over from this culture war. And that is, you got the mainstream media losing relevancy to us here in alternative medias, and they're going out kicking and screaming, which of course the internet trolls have taken and ran with, because they get the attention, they get the clicks. And the media is stirring people to get worse, and the violence is starting to escalate. There's talk of civil war. There's talk of extreme acts of violence from both sides of the political spectrum. And the thing is, I went to D.C. recently, and if I had believed everything the media fed me, I expected there was going to be protests. I expected a bunch of MAGA hat wearing motherfuckers fighting with a bunch of people with masks and fucking shit and all of that. I saw none of that. The only protest I saw was a homeless guy who was talking about he distrusted the government. I'm like, well, I can agree with you there. And I saw like an anti-war setup. Other than that, the level of unrest that is portrayed by our mainstream media right now is entirely on fucking mainstream media and Twitter. When you go out in the real fucking world, that shit's not happening everywhere. Yeah, there's pockets of protests. I'm not just debating that. But the thing is if you have like a group of 50 people in some city somewhere raising hell, that's where all the fucking cameras are going to go. They're going to ignore the rest of the country, which is probably doing all right, if not for the media trying to stir us up. So when you think about this meme, as in there's two types of people in a game, an MMORPG or an RPG. There's a PC, that's the player character. They tend to think outside the box. They tend to try and manipulate the rules of the game to their benefit, to be successful at the game. They play the game, and they go into it with open eyes, and they see everything for what it is, including mainstream media's propaganda bullshit. That's what a PC is. An NPC is somebody that's programmed. They've been programmed by schools, by colleges, by mainstream media, by movies, by TV shows, and even here, on YouTube, we have programming going on. If you're a PC, you can look objectively at these things and be like, well, I can see what they're doing here. They're trying to fucking make me do this. I don't want to fucking do that. Fuck you. If you're an NPC, you let that formulate your opinion. You get outraged. You get angry. You start going out and doing stupid shit. Throwing shit, blocking traffic, all this shit. All the things that we're upset about are driven by this clickbait media. When you're just walking down the street on a normal fucking day, chances are no one's going to fucking be a dick. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I just know when I go out, nobody fucks with me. Now, granted, I don't do things that, part of playing the game, of being I consider myself a PC. I'm not programmed. Look at all the shit I do. Part of being a PC is thinking freely and being reasonable and understanding the game and the climate that we're in. Like it or not, this is the way things are right now. If you say something offensive, they're coming for you. If you say something that they don't agree with, that their perceived bias, then they become an enemy NPC. So I guess as a player character, our job is to try and keep the PCs from becoming aggressive. The NPCs from becoming aggressive with us by triggering them. It doesn't mean I don't say things from time to time that might not trigger somebody. But I'm not taking sides. I refuse to take sides because both sides aren't looking out for what I feel is the most important thing in our current lifetime. And it's not immigration. It's not which sex, sleeps with who. It's not whether or not we have 3 bathrooms instead of 2. It's not Trump's tweets. It's not Trump's transcripts. We know Trump is an asshole. He was an asshole long before he was president. And I neither support nor condemn Trump because he's just doing pretty much what every other fucking president before him has done. And that's just about absolutely fucking nothing that has affected my life in a positive or negative way. And like all the presidents before him, he's not addressing the things that I am concerned with. Like Big Pharma killing us. Monsanto killing us. Our corrupt science and universities. And things are getting out of hand. Because the NPCs are starting to get violent. And we're starting to see more NPCs become enemy NPCs. Now, I tend to stand back and I let the NPCs fight amongst themselves because I'm willing to bet that most player characters aren't out there. But they could get sucked into it. It's pretty fucking bad that you cannot even watch a movie And I'm going to talk about the Joker a little bit because I went to see the Joker. You can't even watch a fucking movie without them telling you what to think or getting angry if the movie doesn't push that narrative. And that's, make no mistake, this whole thing about the Joker was fucking ridiculous. I watched it. I'm going to go see it a second time. I thought it was a good fucking movie. The acting in it was phenomenal. Phenomenal acting in it. And if anything I took away from it, it's mental illness is a thing, and mental illness driven by the media, by programming. That's what I took away from it. I don't know what fucking all the other people were talking about, incels and all that other shit. I didn't see that. I saw a fucking really mentally ill motherfucker from comic books who was losing his fucking mind. And part of it was media driven. I'm trying not to give any spoilers away, but if you haven't seen that movie, it's a good fucking movie. And it mocks what's going on with this culture war and all the NPCs out there doing NPC shit. And they're doing it because the cameras are pointing at them. They're doing it because they know they can mob up and go up on Twitter and take you out socially. That is what we need to avoid. So ask yourself, am I programmed? Is this opinion I have given to me by the media? I know people that's all they do. They watch mainstream media all the time, and then they regurgitate those opinions over and over again. That qualifies you as being programmed. When you can't take each situation divorced of that bias, the media bias, and analyze it for what it is, and then come up with an opinion on the spot, and that opinion shouldn't always align with one side or another. It shouldn't be, oh, I'm a conservative, so I automatically disagree with you, or, oh, I'm a fucking lefty, so I automatically disagree with you. It should be, well, let's think about this particular situation and where do I come out? Let's analyze it. You know, let me think of an example. Abortion. Either you're pro-life or you're or you're pro-choice. That should be based entirely individual of all your other values. That's what a PC would do. They'd be like, okay, I myself, I'm pro-life. Because I was almost aborted. Found out. Thank God that didn't happen. You wouldn't be watching this right now. So that decision is entirely divorced from any other political ideology. But we're on this my team, your team fucking system right now, and that's part of the programming. Step outside the programming. Evaluate each situation on its merits. Like Trump pulling out of Syria. People on the left are hating it, even though it's something that should philosophically happen on their side of the argument. You know, ever since I could remember, the left was anti-war, except right now, because Trump. Evaluate each thing without saying, is that my team or your team? Because I want my team to win and your team to lose. That's programming. There's no teams. There's different circumstances that require different approaches. And this two-party system has failed us. And it's getting worse. And they're not getting anything important done. If anything, they're distracting us from the fact that corporations are still getting richer. We're still getting unhealthier. They're not addressing the important shit because they're too busy distracting us with clicks. It's tying up all of our lawmakers. Not that they're going to do anything good that I can think of anyway. It's tying up the president. And there's now rhetoric going around of coups and civil wars. This is fucking alarming shit. We're playing with fire. And ultimately, you want to know who's winning? Not us. Not the people out there on the streets beating the shit out of each other with bike locks or running their car into people or shooting each other. Because I do believe shots were fired after that individual ran over somebody and killed somebody. All based on programmed notions that are being stirred up by the mainstream media for clicks. Don't be told what to be outraged about. Look at your own life and the lives of those around you. Evaluate what's important there. If everybody took care of their own fucking yard, their own house, and their own social situations, we wouldn't have a single fucking problem as far as the social side of our politics. That's being taken away from us. You're having friends divided on social media for wrong think. Whichever side they're on. If you're not on their side, you're not their friend. Even though they perfectly other than their differences of opinion, probably get along just fine otherwise. That's not allowed anymore. You're not allowed to associate with somebody on the other team anymore. I know in my subscriber base, I have people from both sides of the political spectrum. Why? Because I judge things based on what's fucked up and what's not fucked up. Our two-party, my team, your team fucking system that's resulting in this civil unrest that's growing is fucked up. It's causing people to lose their minds. It's causing violence. It's causing too much problems. And if you are caught up in that, whether you're conservative and wearing your MAGA hat, hoping that somebody comes at you with a bike lock so you can shoot him in the eye, or whether you're the Antifa protester who's doing all the beatings and all of that other shit that's out there and the violence, you're programmed. If that is you, you're programmed. If you're one of these motherfuckers that's watching all this shit on media and shaking your head and going, I can't believe how dumb we're getting, you might be a player character instead of an NPC. Now, this meme drove the lefties nuts, I heard, or something. I didn't dig in too deep into this meme. I'm looking at it from the perspective of a gamer. I'm playing the game, and I'm doing the best I can to get as far as I can in the game without getting programmed, without getting a lot of NPCs to become enemy NPCs. And I think if we all did that, there'd be a lot less NPCs. Because other people would see your success, see you stepping outside the box, living your life and being positive. And maybe you could convert some of those NPCs to player characters again by snapping them out of that media fucking stranglehold. That's my opinion on this. I realize this is political, and I know some of you, I've seen the chat. We're going to get to the chat in a minute. Don't worry. I just didn't want to be interrupted for this part. Don't be an NPC. Don't be programmed. Think for yourself. Analyze each individual situation on its own merits. And that is the path for us to avoid civil conflict. This rhetoric is getting spun up for clicks. And make no mistake, the media isn't doing it because of any political ideology. They're doing it for the clicks, for the money. And because a lot of the agendas they're pushing fit with the corporations that pay their bills. There's nobody in Washington looking out for you and me. I don't know if you noticed that. Trump isn't looking out for you. Neither are anybody in Congress or the Senate. They're not looking out for you. You got to look out for you. And you're not going to do it by listening to the mainstream media. Nearly everything the media has told me to do, I've done the opposite, and my life and health have been better for it. At no time in the past 20-ish years have I listened to the media and took them at face value. I do not trust them. I do not listen to them unless I'm pointing and laughing at how stupid they are. I do not even really seek them out.
The bed. Well, howdy, folks.
They are programming us for money. They have an agenda. They are tailoring their message and what we're supposed to be angry about or what we're supposed to be virtue signaled to do. They're doing all of that to fit that agenda. And that agenda is almost always in the interests of corporations, not individuals. Nobody in the government gives a fuck about you. None of them. Not a single one. I don't care what they tell you. Once they get into the swamp, the corruption seeps in and they're gone. And a lot of them are doing everything they can to hold on to that power. And they'll tell you whatever you want to fucking hear. And they'll use the media the best they can to manipulate you as well. Don't let them do it. Think for yourself. What's important to you? The economy, your job, how much your taxes are, how high your medical bills are, how much your health insurance costs you, the laws that govern what you are allowed and not allowed to do. These are the important issues. That's not what we're fighting about. That's not what our government's busy figuring out right now, is it? No. We're figuring out, should we remove a duly elected official who 50% of the country voted in from power forcibly? And that's what this impeachment shit is. And while they're doing this, guess what they're not doing? They're not addressing our food guidelines. They're not addressing the corruption in science. They're definitely not addressing the corporate power and corruption that's going on within our government and external to it. They're not addressing the mental health crisis that's growing alongside the rest of these problems, some of which is nutritionally related. They're not doing anything for us. And even if one side wins, if Trump wins and stays in office, nothing's going to change. If the left wins and they get Trump out and some other asshole gets in there, nothing is going to change other than people are going to be pissed off, riled up. All the NPCs are going to be beating shit out of each other, or worse. And it's going to leave us PCs to be like, all right, well, that's going on. I'm going to just stay fuck away from that. Because they're not addressing our issues. Be a player character, all right? Think for yourself. Be a free thinker. Do not let the opinions pushed upon us in social media and media become your opinions. Do your own fucking homework on things. Don't take these articles and news stories and opinion pieces at face value. I don't care if you got to travel and find out just how bad shit is. Because I think you'll find when you get out there in the world, and I know this from being a truck driver, things aren't as bad as the media makes you think they are. Things can get bad, don't get me wrong. But keep in mind, if the media wasn't putting it in front of you, would you even know about it? And if you didn't know about it, how would that affect the overall population? Would that pretty much not disempower, wouldn't that disempower these NPCs from influencing our opinions? From these media companies influencing our opinions if nothing happened? If we didn't do anything about it? Just saying. Anyways, let me get to the chat now. I saw the chat scrolling. Double Delta's really fired up. looks like. So let me, I'm going to scroll back up some. Let's see here. Sorry I had to go off on that riff, but now I can address the chat. So, Gyro Spin Up, our media brainwashes people just like China and Russians' media does to their people. The U.S. also interferes with other countries' elections. I'm not here to slam my own country necessarily. I'm slamming the people that are destroying my country. Have we done wrong in the past? Probably. So has every other country. I can't think of a country that's guilt-free, that doesn't have some form of corruption seeping into their system, that isn't having problems. Our problem time is now, believe it or not. I think we're at the beginning of a serious downturn in our country to where we're going to struggle to get through this. And it's scary. And I blame entirely, I don't blame the motherfuckers that are triggered. I don't blame all the NPCs out on the streets acting fucking fucked up. I don't blame all the ridiculousness. I blame corporations and the media. Because those are the two beneficiaries of our being programmed and triggered and upset. Those are the people that are standing to gain from us destroying ourselves out here. And if you're an NPC, you're not even looking at that. You're not even aware that while you're broke as fuck, sick, going to the doctors all the time, and your mental health is so fucked up you got to take pills or drink yourself into fucking submission every week, you're not even aware that there's people getting rich off of this. That there's companies that are getting their interest pushed forward in the name of these agendas. All the while, them making money off of our addictions, off of us getting triggered, and it's not right. Somebody needs to stop and say, hey, look, can we stop being fucking stupid? Let's just fucking focus on our lives, improve our situation. Because there ain't a fucking thing being a keyboard warrior on Twitter is going to deal with. There's not a fucking thing going out and blocking traffic or hitting each other with Blake Glocks or beating the shit out of MAGA hat wearers or running over motherfuckers or shooting each other. There's nothing that any of that is going to solve. You know what you can solve? Vote with your dollars. Start defunding some of these corporations that are corrupting everything. Take care of your own house, your own backyard, your own life. Live better. And if everybody were to do that, and that means turn off fucking CNN or Fox or whatever the propaganda machine is and don't watch any of that shit, and try and avoid some of the bloggers and YouTubers that are triggering everybody, because there's definitely a lot of that on YouTube too. I'm really picky on, I tend to watch middle moderate people that are pretty much pointing and laughing at all of this. You know, if everybody just took care of their own house without trying to demand that somebody they disagree with start agreeing with them. That's what it is. It's all about power and attention. You know, and when a Twitter mob or some street protesters get any positive attention, as in the media backs them up, that encourages more bold, that, you know, because if you can only clickbait so long before you have to up your game, and media companies are starving to death. They're getting laid off. They're doing all of this, so they're looking to escalate things. And that's what I think they did with the Joker movie. They were trying to get some shit to go down, and it didn't happen. That was the media out there with the fishing pole. They're like, fuck, I didn't get the motherfucker. Piece of shit. Let's try again. Fuck! They all went and saw the movie anyway. You know, they were begging for that to happen. And it didn't happen, thankfully. Because if it would have happened, there would have been, they got their way, and they would have had more NPCs. They would have created more. They would have programmed more PCs to become NPCs. So I'm glad nothing happened there. So, don't mention Brexit, lol. I can't even get into the UK. UK has its own problems for sure, but I think a lot of the UK's problems align with ours. Walderman, what's so great about Trump, Mr. White Tuber? I don't think anything's great about Trump, but I also don't think he's the worst fucking thing that ever happened either. He's pretty much not doing anything really important that I can see. So I'm neither pro or anti-Trump. But at the same time, he was elected. And guess what? That's why we have elections. So if you don't like Trump, then do something about it in 2020. Don't try and get him impeached. It's only a fucking another year. Can't wait another fucking year. You're going to waste a whole fucking year. Just vote. Just saying. Double Delta, Trump is the first real. See this. Look at how divisive this is. This don't make it my team, your team shit. You know, oil orange juice. Although Joker is a masterpiece, so there is still hope for Hollywood. Yeah, I think we're starting to see a little bit of a revolt from comedians and from certain Hollywood directors and producers that are saying, look, political correct doesn't fucking sell. People hate it. We don't need to be programmed when we go to see a fucking movie. I just want to see a fucking movie. It's an escapist activity. I don't need to be told my politics or what to be outraged about and all of that. Now, I'm probably going to sympathize with certain characters and think other characters are pieces of shit, but that's just part of being a free thinker, basing it on the situation that those characters are encountering. But make no mistake, they are trying to utilize that, and I unsubscribed from Netflix for this reason, too. It's being used to manipulate us. I don't like being manipulated. And I'm so aware of it since I started doing this health YouTube shit that I can spot it a mile away at this point. And that's what you need to train yourself to do. Whether the person is talking is that you agree with, that's on your team, you got to get rid of this team concept. Oh, you're a lefty, so you're a piece of shit. Oh, you're a conservative, so I fucking hate you. That's not working for anybody. We need to take a fucking step back. The media doesn't want to push the war for clicks. This Double Delta, they are paid to start the war. All war is in corporate interest nowadays, and economics and power. And that's why wars are going to happen. But wars have been happening throughout human history. I don't think they're going to go away anytime soon. Especially since we can't even fucking get along in our own country. You know? So, Waldemar, that's an opinion, DDZ. It's not policy. I don't know. I'm a pro-worker. More economically based politically, the wealth gap is atrocious. And yeah, neither side has an interest in changing that wealth gap. The conservatives are wanting less government, more corporate. And the lefties want more corporate, more socialism. None of them are solving that issue for us because there's some deep-rooted corruption. You know, when you look at the way our economy is set up with a debt-driven, consumerist-based economy, neither side's addressing it. And it's not going to change. And in fact, I'm even hearing rumblings that we're going to have another economic crash, which we are. Don't know when yet, but when you have a debt-driven economy where you are spending and consuming more than you are producing, eventually the bubble pops. And a lot of people lose their jobs, and a lot of people lose their houses, and a lot of people suffer. We got to change our economy to fix that. And neither side's doing a solid on that. You know, people keep saying that the economy's good with Trump. I don't see it. Yeah, more people got jobs now, but they're still broke as fuck working those jobs. Can barely afford the house to live in. Can barely afford their bills, if at all. Yeah. Working isn't enough. We need cost of living to come down. We need a lot of things to change. So that's where I stand on that. Neither side's doing shit. I have not seen a single thing come out of the media that I was like, okay, the government's at least doing that. No, everything that comes out of the media, I'm like, why are they fucking doing this? This is the lowest thing on the list of things I'm concerned about. And it's in the headlines nonstop. You know, move on. I mean, the media's been trying to take down Trump since he got elected. So whenever I turn on a mainstream media and they're like, oh, Trump's doing this and Trump's doing that and Trump's a piece of shit and Trump's fucking this up and Trump. I'm like, shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear nothing about Trump. I want to hear about our healthcare system. What happened to that? That used to be the big thing. Do you remember when Obamacare was all we ever talked about? When that's all the fucking media was focused on? At least it was something. At least we were working on our healthcare system. I don't agree with it, but that's means we're at least fucking with it. We're not fucking with anything right now, except each other. It's fucking ridiculous. We need to fucking stop that shit. But we're not gonna. The government, I am completely disenfranchised with as far as that they're going to get anything productive done. And if Trump gets reelected, they're still not going to get anything productive done. The media won't allow it. And make no mistake, the media and corporations are pulling the strings of our lawmakers. You know, Twitter's a big thing, because that's where the president's tweeting now. It's all a big pile of shit, and we're all like getting divided over who's gets to hold the pile of shit. You see the big pile of shit. You got one guy with a red hat on, one guy with a fucking mask on, and you're just like, that's my pile of shit, motherfucker. You better not go near my pile of shit. I'll knock that fucking hat right off your head. You know, that's ridiculous. We're fighting over a corrupt piece of shit and who gets to sit in there. Neither side's doing jack shit that's going to benefit you and me. Neither side. Guarantee you, no matter who the fuck gets in office, whoever wins the presidency, whoever wins Congress, there's two possibilities. Either things are going to get worse or nothing's going to change. At no point in my entire fucking lifetime has the government done something and I was like, yeah, that's fucking great. I'm glad you fucking are in there. Not once in my lifetime. I've served under a president from each side. I served under Bush. I've served under Clinton. Neither one of them did a fucking thing I appreciated. And some of them did some shit I didn't appreciate. At no point during our election cycle have I been happy with our government. Content that they're looking out for my best interests as a person. They have always been looking out for my entire life, since I was born till now. They've always been looking out for corporations. That is why I am so anti-corporation at this point. Because they're getting their wishes, but individuals aren't getting shit. We're getting shit on, but they're not getting shit. So, that's my thoughts on that and shit. This video on YouTube is probably not going to do too well. I'm pretty sure. Hopefully I don't get fucking banned from YouTube. That might be a thing. So, let me get back on here. Double Delta is all fired up. Hollywood is still propaganda, always has been. Not true, okay. But see, I don't even know. Like I said, when I get off of my tangent, it's hard for me to pay attention. So save your chats for when I'm able to pay attention. I had no interest in Joker until the leftards attacked it. Maybe it made me very suspicious. That's just, like I said, I think Hollywood's having a political... They're tired of the shit, and they want to just get back to making movies and making money. You know, let's not forget, Hollywood's supposed to make money. What's that term we heard? Get woke, go broke? Well, I think they know they're going broke. So, and look at the financial success of the Joker. that is not only a message that the people making movies are tired of this shit, but the people watching movies are tired of that shit. And that's why they're supporting that movie. Just saying. If it was a shitty movie that was offensive or that caused problems or anything like that, nobody would have went and watched it. You told us we couldn't go to see it. There, believe it or not, security was elevated at the showing I went to. They turned people away at the door if they had a purse. Like little old ladies were showing up to the door with a purse, and they're like, go home. No, I can't bring that bag in here. I'm like, it's just 80. I don't think I've heard of any 80-year-olds doing this stupid shit. Probably because they made it to being 80. But, you know, and all it was a movie. And the only reason for the added security and all of the bullshit and all of the controversy, there's only one reason that it happened. The media. I blame them. If I could point the finger at a piece of shit, it would be the media. The media is shit. They are the cause of all of this. They are not the answer. They're not here to inform you and enlighten you. They are the problem. The media is the problem. And they need to shut the fuck up and get back to reporting facts and leaving their fucking opinions at home. And leaving their fucking programming at home. Quit trying to program everybody to be like you. It's not why you're there. Same thing for our journalists. Quit being pieces of shit. And the things will get better. You know, some of the more peaceful times of my life were when the media was not really being a dick. I mean, they were still manipulating us, but not to the degree they're trying to manipulate us now because they didn't get their way. And what Trump getting elected was, if nothing else, was a message to the media saying, look, we don't give a fuck what you say. If anything came out of this, that's what it was. Because he's not in the club. He's in his own club. And one of the things about Trump that is well known is he's a narcissist and he's into himself. That's who we put in the seat. And he wasn't a member of the corporate club because he was already rich. Now he's a member of his corporate club. And he's rubbing shoulders with a lot of corporations, so I'm willing to bet corporate interests are his number one concern. And I think it's shown in some of the economic policies he's enacted. So he's not on our side either. He's on the corporation side, just different corporations. Depends on which agenda you're trying to push. So people used to laugh during All in the Family, the Jefferson, Sanford and Son, and they all were prejudiced as it gets. Gyro spin up. Yeah, I don't believe in censorship, which is one of the reasons I'm here on DLive. I like being able to talk and speak my mind. So don't forget neoconservatives, oilers. I haven't forgotten that. They're all. I don't believe in any of that shit. You know, I've never been 100% political on a team. You know, there's times when I've leaned to the right, and then there's times when I lean to the left. I don't know who to back because none of them are doing what I want them to do. None of them. Not a single fucking person I've talked to about politics has addressed anything I remotely give a fuck about. They've addressed a lot of things that the corporations care about. It's part of that programming. The Dogfathers. I love how President Washington called out all right out the gate, but he said bipartisanship would be the death of us. And that's the thing. I think this two-party system is tearing us apart, and the media is driving us tearing each other apart. We need to... I have friends on both political spectrums. It has been a valuable part of my life not to associate someone's opinions with who they are as a person. Or now it's to the point where if you hang out with somebody that's controversial politically, you're a piece of shit. When did that happen? I got friends on both sides. I got friends that proudly wore the MAGA hat. Even had a cardboard cutout of Trump. Got fucked with, too. I've got friends that are LGBTQ. I've got friends on the far left. I've got friends who are actually involved in politics. I'm able to be friends with these people because I'm not programmed to hate them. I'm programmed to evaluate them on the things they do, the actions they take, not of the words that come out of their mouth. Often you can tell if someone's a good person based on how they act, not based on the things they say. And that's how I evaluate my friends, not on their politics. A lot of them are programmed. You know, they just need to escape the programming. So, the media doesn't push the war for clicks. They are paid to start the war. I already read that. Wilmer, let's scroll down. Double Delta, you're not paying attention. If Trump was the same establishment, the establishment would hate him so much. The establishment hates him because he went in there and took it over. He doesn't have the same corporate interests that some of the other bought and paid for politicians do. So that's why you see conservatives come out against Trump. Plus, he's Trump. I mean, who doesn't know how Trump is? Who hasn't watched him on TV throughout our lives? It's not like we don't know who he is or what's good and what's bad about him. He's not a fucking angel. But he's not the fucking devil either. One side wants me to think he's the fucking devil. The other side wants me to fucking put him into angelic fucking reverence. I'm not doing either of those. He's just another dickhead who isn't doing what I want him to do. That's it. But don't be mad, because there's been dickheads from both teams that haven't done anything I wanted them to do over the years. Obama didn't do what I fucking want him to do. Clinton didn't do what I wanted him to fucking do. Neither of the George Bushes did what I want him to do. Ronald Reagan, I was too young to even give a shit. Turns out they were all fucking me in one way or another. The only difference between the two is which part of me got fucked more. That's it. I was fucked either way. So, yeah, I'm in the middle. I'm not on the right. I'm not on the left. I'm not here to silence either of you either. If you're on the left, more power to you. If you're on the right, more power to you. Leave me the fuck alone. That's my policy on politics now. Don't stand in the way when I'm trying to drive somewhere. Don't hit me with a fucking bat. Don't throw shit at me. Don't call me a racist. Don't censor me. Don't take away my rights. Don't take away my freedoms. Don't destroy me. These are concerns of mine. So as a player character, I have to evaluate how to manipulate through this fucking shit in this game that we're playing with our fucking country so that I don't become a target and that I don't convert any NPCs into enemy NPCs. Not want to trigger no aggro on this. So, the mainstream media loves Trump, always has. I'm sure they do because of the clicks. And they're so desperate for the Trump clicks that they aren't going to let it go. Trump's always been able to get clicks. Before he was president, he was getting clicks. People were always talking about him. Media had a big cash cow on their hands when he got elected, and I sometimes wonder if they even care that he's president. I think they care about stirring us up, making us angry, and then getting us to click. I don't know that they're 100% as political as they portray themselves to be. I still think that money is driving it. Corporate interests are driving it. And social media is driving it. So, Waldemar, I'm not on any team. I've paid enough attention. I just don't drown myself in it anymore. Yeah, I used to pay attention. I used to be an NPC, by the way. I was programmed just like everybody else. I'm not sitting here judging anybody if they still are in the NPC category. I used to be programmed with my opinions from the media. I took it away from their debates and I used to listen to it as a trucker all day long. Thankfully, I listened to a lot of other shit too. And I think that's what helped snap me out of it. But when I started this health journey, when I was obese, drinking myself silly, health going down the tubes, mental health going down the tubes, I was an NPC. Since I got my health under control, I've promoted myself to player character, and I hope to stay that way. Now that I've opened my eyes, seen everything for what it is, I don't think I could go back to just being programmed, doing my life according to the prescription given to us by our schools and reinforced by the government and media. That's not something I'm going to fall in line with going forward. And since I woke up from all of that, I can't envision going back. And now I just feel bad and sad for all the people caught up in it because they're missing out on a good life, or at least a life that doesn't suck. You know, that's my thoughts on that. All right. Sorry about my stream fucking up during that. But thanks for letting me riff. You guys didn't go too crazy on the chat. Double Delta, I'm on the team that isn't threatening to confiscate weapons and invade our country with the third world. What team is that? The team's going nuts right now. We don't even have good teams anymore. There's no teams. There's people that are political and everybody else. So either you're on the political team, in which case you're diving right into all of these things that are getting you upset, or you're out here going, well, they say they're going to do that, but yet a lot of people I know still have all their guns, and I don't think they're going to walk in and storm them and take them, because that could be a disaster. Yeah, and you know what? People I know that own guns, I don't own a gun, by the way. I can't afford one. It's not because I'm object to owning a firearm. Lord knows I could probably have one around for defense so that somebody else with a gun doesn't come kill me, but turns out I'm pretty good at not pissing people off to the point where they want to shoot me. As far as I know. It could be changing now that I'm on YouTube. I don't know. I don't feel the need to buy one just yet. But if this unrest continues to grow and escalates further and further, I'll probably get one. Just saying. And in New York, that's no small feat. That is what it is there. I'm tired of it. The rhetoric is getting out of control right now. It's been getting out of control a while, and I've been like, nope, I'm not going to fucking do a video yet. Not going to talk about it. I've been triggered. Plenty of triggered. This is some of the triggered I have. I'm letting some of the triggered out with this video and sharing it. We're acting foolishly to each other out there. We need to pull it back. Take this power that the media has over us away from them. Stop watching the shit. Stop looking at Twitter for people that are saying things that support your team, whatever your team is. And be nice to each other. This is really hippie shit, I know. What do you expect from a minimalist fucking fasting YouTuber? But like I said, if we take care of our own lives and we don't let these media companies and these corporations turn us against each other, A, to distract us from what they're doing, and B, I think that's pretty much their only tactic. Because they just want business as usual, the corporations. And so far, not only is it business as usual, They don't have to change a fucking thing. Pharmaceuticals killing all kinds of people. We've had big major fucking court cases coming out. Hundreds of thousands of people dying from it. Yeah, we're not worried about that, though. Corporations and shit. Thank you, Double Delta, for the ice creams. Let's see here. I'm going through the back and forth, Double Delta. I can't read all your shit. We'll be here for 4 hours. Thank you, Yelva, for the diamond. So how many of you did I piss off and make you unsubscribe by being a little bit political? So, I think it's no secret. That I'm anti-corporation. I mean, how many fucking videos have I done on the topic now? So I hope not. What else? Corporations. Taquito. Alright. Well, thank you, Double Delta and Yelva, for your contributions there. Double Delta government should have stayed out of the food pyramid to begin with. I agree completely. And they're not going to. We're still being manipulated. You know, when I see vegan environmentalism, that screams of NPC to me. They're being programmed that's their agenda. You know, I just want people to snap out of the program. I don't, just because you may be an NPC now doesn't mean you can't wake up. You can't snap out of it. You can snap out of it. Question everything. Even things you agree with. Question it. And the first question you should ask is, who benefits from me agreeing with this? And 9 times out of 10, you're going to find that the answer to that question isn't you. Corporations are benefiting. Media is benefiting. And politicians are benefiting. But 9 times out of 10, not you. You're not getting anything out of the deal. Except paying your taxes, going to work 70 hours a week to pay all your debts. That's what you're getting. And none of them give a shit. They want to keep you distracted. They want to wave their fucking hands around. They want you to click. Keep your eye on the prize. That's a better life, better health. And the only way to do that is to open your eyes, avoid being programmed by media, schools, politicians, bosses, social media, and start evaluating things based on their merits, based on the individual situations. And then maybe we can pull back some of this power the media has over us. Because the media has fucked us up. We can't do any of the fucking shit we used to be able to do. We've had so much eroded freedoms as a result of this. And it's not that we're afraid of the government, because we're not. We're afraid of each other. When I say something, I'm not afraid that the government's going to come and arrest me for saying something. I'm afraid some triggered dickhead's going to fucking hashtag me on fucking Twitter and take me out and cancel me. This cancel culture shit. That's where the power is. Government is just going to sit there and whine and take money from me. That's what they've been doing my whole life. But they can only do that if I make money, so it's not in their interest for me to get canceled. It's a thing. I mean, we need to stop doing all of this controlling of other people's opinions. We can't. You cannot control someone else's opinion. You can try and manipulate it, and that's what they're doing. Don't be somebody that can be manipulated. That's my thoughts. But what the fuck do I know? I'm not a politician. I'm definitely not a fucking expert. And I don't like talking about this shit in my videos. This is a one-off. So for those of you who are like, no, don't go be political, talk about keto and fasting, I don't want to hear any of this shit. It's something we need to be concerned with and keep our eye on. It is affecting us in more ways than one as a keto and fasting community. It could prevent carnivores from getting cheap or well-priced meats that are healthy, there's an agenda behind it. When you look at environmentalism, particularly the vegan environmentalism, global warming, don't get me started on global warming. I have an opinion. It's probably not going to be something you like. These are all things that are being manipulated by corporations that we need to take a good look at, and not through the lens of Twitter and the media or even here on YouTube. So what I want you to leave this video with is, if you were one of these people out at one of these protests and you're participating in this behavior, you're probably an NPC. A player character is watching that from the sidelines and shaking their head because they know all of that's changing is our ability to go out and be safe in public and to have our own opinions and say things. That's what's changing. And it's not a good change, because that leads to violence and escalations of violence. So I'll leave you with that. So that's my thoughts. They had spam in World War II, LOL. Now it's candy bars and bagged carbs and whatever snack bread. Yeah, that's... Believe it or not, they were still healthy in World War II. We really didn't start fucking up till the 50s, 60s, and 70s. It's where we really started to just destroy our health with nutrition. I was in during C-Rats, lay a can on the Jeep manifold, and chow was hot. When I was in, I was pretty much standard American diet my whole life. And, yeah. I didn't like MREs, by the way. I thought MREs were horrible. That was what I had. I didn't have C-Rats. I had MREs. Dogfathers, I've been trying to find a window long enough to make a full keto switch, but I can't afford... Make the full keto switch, but I can't afford to tank during PT because I'm not fat. Oh, you're in the military, Dogfathers. That's all. There's a lot of research going on with the military and keto as far as tanking. But the problem is are you going to have enough time to fat adapt? You should really look into Jeff Volek and Stephen Finney, because they're actually doing research with the military on keto in terms of athletic performance and being able to perform in the field and stuff like that. So, yeah. The government will change things to make our soldiers better. They won't do that for the rest of us. Because if we don't have good soldiers, we can't win wars. So, yeah, what they do to soldiers usually doesn't apply to the rest of us out here in the world. And I know that firsthand, so... Might say fuck it and push on any... Well, good luck if you do. Just know that for 6 to 8 weeks, you're going to have problems with energy, and you might bonk if you're doing intense physical activity. But good news is you'll fat adapt quicker. I recommend trying to use intermittent fasting as a good tool to keep going, because that'll get you into ketosis quicker, and it'll force your fat adaptation to go a little quicker. But if you're doing a lot of physical activity, you need lots of fat coming in. You need those calories coming in, or you will tank. You will have energy dips. And also your electrolytes need to be taken care of as well, as physical as you are and shit. Dom D'Agostino is involved in the military. Yeah, there's a bunch of keto research going on with the military ever since they showed that keto athletes could become bunk proof by being well fat adapted. But it's a strict form of keto too. You know, it's not dirty keto. It's definitely the strictest form of keto you could do. That takes into account electrolytes and all that other stuff. So it's nice to see I could touch on politics and we still have this common ground on which to stand, and that's being healthy outside of this fucked up food environment that we're in. So if you're watching on YouTube, thank you. If you're watching me on DLive, I'm going to end the stream shortly, But it's not the end of the stream. I will be back later for a more casual, laid-back, play a game, chat. When I do the game streams, I'm there to chat. If no one's chatting, I'm playing the game, and I sometimes will talk about the game. But if you come in and want to talk to me about keto, carnivore, or just shoot shit with me, that's what those streams are for. It's for me to relax, but to also be available to hang out with you guys. So I'm going to take an hour off from the stream, and I'll be back in about an hour after this. And I'm going to fire up the game that I've been playing and share that. And for those of you who are gamers, see you there. Or if you're not interested, this will be it for planned content. I know sometimes people come in and chat with me during those streams and they get me talking. So that's probably going to be a thing. Oh, double delta. That's probably something I need to do. But I'm going to do that after. Don't tune out if you're waiting for the chest, because I'm going to end the YouTube portion of the video. Please, if you're on YouTube, don't be an NPC. Like and subscribe. Don't ignore all the media programming and hear another opinion. Definitely outside the mainstream on all of this. And if you found this video enlightening and helpful, head to ScottTheTruckDriver.com and leave a tip in the virtual tip jar. And for every $20, I will do up to 4 videos per week. Anything more than that is a tip. Cutoffs are Sundays. And there's generally a 2-week window there. So head over if you want more shit, if I'm not making enough videos to keep you happy. And there was something else. Oh, yeah. All the podcasts available now. All you got to do, they're free. Head to ScottTheTruckDriver.com, sign up for the email subscription list. When you get the next email blast, the password to the subscriber lounge is there. You can go in and get all of the content that's available there. You can download it. You can stream it directly from the Google Drive links, and we'll participate in that or something. I'll get you some content there. Plus, I'm getting into music, so that'll go there too. And I might put some game streams there eventually if I ever feel like anybody gives a shit about it. For now, no one seems to give a shit, so I haven't put any game streams in there. Have a nice motherfucking day and shit. Stick around if you're in the stream, and we'll hang out a little bit longer before I end the stream and shit.